23 years ago.
All right, welcome back. We are here for match number 3 of the day, coming off of that big surprise of a match, I guess is the best way to put that, with Team Freedom taking on the OC Stunners. Team Freedom coming out in top in 3. And now we've got the Dallas Tornadoes searching for their first win today, and they're going to be taking on the LA Blaze. Blaze so far 1-1 on the weekend. They took a win in 5 on day 1 on Friday, and they barely lost last night to the Matadors in one of the most exciting NVA. Before we get too much more into that, though, I think we've got Victoria standing by on the sideline. Victoria, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. Coach Andre, what is the key to win this match today?
I think if we can control our side of the ball, stabilize the pass, and use our middles, and then from there distribute the ball to the pins. I think leaving one-on-ones on the pins would be a good helper today. So
Absolutely. And Roshitz is a big cannon for you. Are you going to utilize him today as well?
yeah, his shoulder was a little sluggish yesterday, so we didn't want to force it. He got work done over here and had a good night's sleep and iced it and whatnot. He feels good today, so let's try it out.
Good luck, Coach. Nick?
Thanks so much. I was curious about that, what was going on yesterday with Steve's shoulder, so good to hear that they're all dialed in, taken care of, and excited to see some big swings. He's an integral part of the offense of this Dallas Tornadoes team, so definitely something we'll want to keep track of. Definitely also keeping an eye on the side of the LA Blaze to see what roster they start. This is kind of a must-win match for them. They've done a great job in the offseason, rebuilding the roster a little bit, adding some integral pieces. We keep saying his name, but Travis O'Gorman having a heck of a weekend so far. Charles Belvin as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what we're going to see out of Wally as well,
Yeah.
who started the match and then took a little a game and a half, 2-game break there. It looked like he was kind of nursing something. So we'll see where he's at, percentage-wise, in today's match as well.
Yeah, we've seen, Blaze over the last 4 or 5 months do some rebuilding with that squad. Really looking like they're in a good place right now. So definitely someone to keep an eye on. And Dallas Tornadoes are, they're 0-2, but they're having one of those weekends that it's hard to expect much else. They've been together for 3 to 4 months. They're brand new, one of the expansion teams this year for 2021. So we're excited to see them out here battling it on the court and making their debut.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a puzzle chess game to figure out the starting lineups, where to play which players. You see some guys playing opposite one match, outside hitter another match, and so as long as they're training and practicing and working towards that common goal that we've talked about before, they're going to be okay. But in terms of personnel, really understanding which guys fit in which places and really putting those pieces together that we talk about throughout this season, the Tornadoes are maybe a little bit behind because they're just newer to the league.
Yeah, definitely. But, we saw some key pieces, and we're going to see number 14, Hernandez, on the outside, I think, here. Oh, no, it looks like he's going to go back to the right side, and that's going to be Sekiel Sanchez joining Roshitz on the outside. Hernandez probably playing on the right here. Oh, nope. This is one of those things that makes the Tornadoes so tricky. They have a variety of pins that play both left and right, so that's going to be Roshitz on the right side now. So Hernandez and Sanchez on the outside. Got a new libero in today with number 10, Ben Simon. Bug starts it off with a big serve, well passed by Sanchez, and there's the D-ball from Roshitz. Gets the high hand swing off the combination of O'Gorman there and Nieves. Aaron King in the middle is going to head back now.
Interesting starting lineup chosen by the Tornadoes to have your setter in the front row. It's kind of uncommon to see the setter starting in the front row on a reception to start the game.
Yep, and that's going to be Ivan Andujar. Nice pass by O'Gorman, goes to the outside, and there's Belvin queuing off, making sure that he's going to make any and all highlight reels that are possible there.
Wow, I mean, that's one way to start the match if you're Charles Belvin. Just absolutely detonating on that ball. Wow. Setting the tone early.
Oh, yeah. O'Gorman now with the float. And that's going to be Sekiel not finding the touch. But Charles Belvin gives the thumbs up to the down ref as they catch that net.
Unfortunately, not the best way to follow up such a dominant kill by Belvin to pull a net violation on the next play. But
Andujar serves the float to Wally. Nieves gets dug in the back row. Transition to Sanchez. Sanchez hits a little chop speed off the high hands there of Belvin. Touch confirmed.
Nice pass by the libero there for the Tornadoes in silver. That's Schulteis.
Is it number 10, Ben King? Or do we have a slight adjustment in?
Good question. We'll have to get some clarification on that one.
Or Ben Simon, sorry, combine some minutes. I think we're seeing number 10, Ben Simon there.
I don't think that libero is 6'5", personally, but
it might be Schulteis. I know he was dealing with some differences in jerseys yesterday, so we'll get some clarification on that.
Yeah. Ooh, a little misconnection there in the middle for the Tornadoes as the setter in the middle hitter Mosicki can't connect on that sort of push 31 set. Nieves continues to serve for the Blaze.
And you were dead on with that one. So that's going to be Ryan Schulteis there playing libero.
Thanks, Nick.
Astute observation for that 6'5" note there. Nieves now with the float. Sanchez goes for that angle swing, but no one there. Low and tight, and not going to find the touch. And that's going to be a 4-3 lead here for the LA Blaze.
So we're seeing 2 new players here on Tornadoes that didn't play yesterday. 7 and 11, the setter and the outside hitter.
Yep, Andujar and Sanchez there. Sanchez played a bit day 1. He started originally and was subbed out for some of their other options on the outside. I believe he was replaced by Luis Vasquez. Nice turn there in the middle by number 9. That's Patrick Mosicki.
Once again, good to see the middles getting involved early. You can see they have his hands full blocking against Jonathan Rodriguez, who we saw last night is extremely athletic.
Yeah, had a phenomenal night.
High flyer. And look to see some more action from him in this match as well.
Set goes to Wally, a little bit of management, and Massanet in number 11 in the red jersey, not quite able to find that cover. Made a good move, but just not coming up for him. Sanchez serves to Wally, but it goes right back to Rodriguez, and Schulte, he almost gets a little one-handed scoop there. Schulteis. I'll get it.
We got some name clarification on the pronunciation guide before this match.
Belvin here with a big jump serve starting it off. Hernandez with a great pass, going right back to the middles. Definitely got to be ready for those dumps. If it's going tight, you've got to respect Bugs looking to go over on 2.
Back row Digger was ready for it, but he went with one hand and should have played it with 2, but he was right there for it. Let's hope he gets the next one.
Belvin goes right back. Heads up play there from Schulteis to get out of the way.
Schulteis pulling his best Keanu Reeves matrix.
Yeah, a little dodge out of the way.
Mimic, yeah.
Can't hit that one. Mosicki now. Wally with a great pass, goes right back to Hernandez, gets a little bit on top of that one. He says, hey, that's my bad. That's a good set. He lets Bugs know, I don't want any adjustments. Give me that one back.
See, I'd like to see Bugs go right back to him again if he can here, just so that they can both refix that a little bit, show some faith in one another here.
Well, if Wally's going to get served, okay. Well, Massanet's not much better, and there it is, the return shot. Right now, we've really seen a great adjustment from the side of the LA Blaze, adding number 91, Jordan Wally, alongside of Massanet. There's some great passers. O'Gorman's been doing well as well, but you know, Wally's really been dialed in, and Massanet's one of the best passers.
Yeah, they are a very strong passing team. Their serve reception is definitely, you know, at the top of the level of this league. So that means a lot of sets to their middles who are high flyers, and fortunately not making Bugs run around the court too much.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a much better job of developing a bit of a team identity. You know, Bugs isn't one that's going to move as much around the court quickly, but at the same time, he's got great net presence. He uses his size. He's going to get, we saw a couple huge blocks in awkward transitional plays last night. You know, he wasn't even on the right side getting some blocks, but he finds those dumps. So the team really has found a way to adjust for the mobility by increasing the passing. And, you know, that's a lot of what roster management really turns out to be. What pieces do you have, and how do you plug them in?
What do you have, and how can you get your best players on the floor in what situations and rotations, for sure. And you're right about Bugs. He's a good blocking setter, and he's a smart situational setter as well. He might not be the fastest guy in the gym, but you know, he kind of makes up for it on what he can do smarts-wise and then blocking-wise.
Yeah, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that and see if he's able to get a couple defensive stops on the net. And he's already got 1 kill dumping, so keep an eye on that one. And that's definitely in the scouting report for any of the other teams checking out how to beat LA Blaze. Here's the friendly reminder from the desk. He's going to dump at least 5 times during your match, so stay tuned.
That's your only freebie.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the only.
I'm going to keep the rest of them in my pocket. Roshit's back on the jump serve today. The outside for O'Gorman, bangs that one into the angle. Last night to help save his shoulder while he was still serving righty, Steve was opting to float serve.
And attack left-handed.
And attack left-handed, yes. That's the part I left off that sentence. Gonna be a tight pass. O'Gorman sweeps it back in. King helps recover that one. Set over short by Sanchez, and there's that offensive desire there, a little bit of an aggressive swing. I would like to much see set that one up, let one of the other guys step in and set to the outside or something like that.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate play by Marquise Buggs there. He's a little upset with that decision too, and understandably so.
Hernandez was putting a ton of pressure from the service line yesterday with this jump serve. And there it is.
Nice.
In great timing. He really had a standout match. He started yesterday on the right side, was kind of invisible, to be honest, but they put him on the outside, got his platform and serve receive, and it paid off immediately. Started finding some great swings, found pressure from the service line. It was a great adjustment. Glad to see them using him there now today.
Yeah, it is a good adjustment. You're right, Nick. The Tornadoes testing out some lineups, realizing that Hernandez needs to be on the left side of the court.
Good pass by Wally. Nice dig by Roshitz in the back row. Hernandez step close, finds it over the top, and Buggs not finding it off the tape there.
Generous bounce from the tape there. A little help from the equipment for Hernandez as he gets a second straight point for his squad.
And one of the things that we've seen a lot of these newer teams really find solace in is the more that they can scrap, the more they can kind of establish a system and find ways to see which hitters are going to be successful. Chicago Untouchables, Texas Tyrants, they're both doing a lot of that this weekend as well. So, you know, the longer that we can see the Tornadoes extend rallies, we're going to see a little bit more of what they're made of and see if they can kind of chip away some games here and maybe take Blaze deep into a 5-set match.
Yeah, the Tornadoes really would like to take at least one win back to Texas with them, you know, Dallas area. And they don't want to go home, you know, 0-3. We have another event coming up in a few weeks, and so you got to prepare for that one.
Big serve by Buggs. Great pass by Schulteis. Nice dig by Wally, pulled out of the net there by Massanet. Set goes back to the outside, and with a late block coming through, that's going to be snuck through by Sanchez. Nieves was a tad late, and one of the problems sometimes that Belvin runs into with all the bounce in his step is the fact that he gets so over the net, sometimes balls squeak down below him.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a timing thing for him in that situation. He went really high and just didn't develop that block.
There's the one-handed set from Buggs, though, making sure to handle the tight pass. And now we see Sanchez try to find a left-handed swing, but that one's going to hit the antenna. Not much else he can do there. That was a very outside set.
Yeah, he got stuck outside the pin on that one. Couldn't do anything else but throw it, try to get a lefty swing.
O'Gorman hammers that ball, and Wally's going to step close and swing long. That one is not in. They're having a multitude of overpasses right now that are just not going their way.
Mark that down. Those two hitting errors that they've gotten on purely both on overpasses could come back to hurt them as this game develops.
Massanet overpasses now, and that's going to be a back row. Yep, that's a great call there by the up refs. Marquise Buggs, back row setter, breaks the plane of the net. Heads up play there on the side of the Tornadoes to make sure to get a touch and force the back row attack. Wally passes tight again, one-handed set. Reset by Massanet. Bick to O'Gorman, and he takes advantage of that block right there. Good job by O'Gorman.
Nice to see him get involved, right, out of the back row in transition. We said his name a lot last night when Jordan Wally was out, giving himself a little PT, but look for O'Gorman, excuse me, to really contribute through this match today.
Wow, great serve there by Nieves. Catches Sanchez high. Hernandez with a little step close attempt That's definitely a tough shot to hit, but he doesn't want to just send a free ball over, and that one's going to hit the tape. And their lead now reduced to just 2.
Yeah, one of those game time decisions. It's always kind of tough to do. Should I swing or should I just put it over? You know, it's all situational. That was maybe not the best choice.
Hernandez high ball out. You can see why his shoulder was hurting yesterday. That one was over the top with no contact there. That was well above the block from what I saw.
Yeah, that was a high attack by Rosic, but the line judge called a touch. Again, we don't have a challenge system here, so we can't really, you know, dive deeper into that. Up ref said there was no touch and overrules her.
Sometimes people now resort to their favorite saying and say the ball never lies.
Ball never lies, yeah.
Whether or not it is actually, in fact, just completely lying to all of us, we'll never know, but.
We will never know, Nick.
Until we get a replay. Stay tuned. Belvin with a big swing deep. Once again, we're seeing the Blaze guys hoping that there's an extra 1.5 feet on the court that is just not there right now. And I think that speaks to the block that the Tornadoes are putting up right now. We've seen them struggle a little bit throughout the event to just close up the seams, right? The big thing is you're not going to get block touched on every ball. You're not going to get straight down, you know, jutted blocks. But if you're able to get a well-formed block that takes away some court, now you're going to be able to slow hitters down and make them adjust their swing. We saw Belvin there, and I didn't quite see it to see if it wasn't the set he wanted or whatever, but he didn't have open court, and so that's a great adjustment. The middle's kind of making some adjustments there on the side of Tornadoes, so good work for them.
Yeah, to go back to your point about the hitting the ball, you know, 1.5 feet long. It's the smartest hitting line is to hit deep into the court. Hit the last 2 feet of the court along the boundaries. When you have the opportunity to hit it straight down and make a big explosive play, obviously take advantage of it.
Right.
But to consistently be able to hit the last 2 feet of the court, that's the sweet spot, right? And so they just got to dial it down just a touch, recalibrate a little bit, and I'm sure they'll be fine. Just, you know, early action, a couple of hitting errors by the Blaze, you know, but also give credit to the Tornadoes, you know, putting up some good blocks in front of them as well.
Absolutely, and now we're going to see Sanchez see if he can get something going with his jump serve coming out of that technical timeout. Or sorry, that was the second technical timeout. Top spin, a little miscontact, but he gets the overpass.
Oh.
Once again, LA Blaze is really passing tight, and they are determined to showcase Bugs' ability to one-handed set, but he's in reality working overtime right now. They need to pull those passes off the net.
Statistics say you're gonna set a better ball with using 2 hands.
I would believe that one. You don't even have to show me a stat for it. I'll just go with your word.
I don't actually have the stats, but.
Nice pass by Schulteis. And Hernandez finds a touch, I thought, on that one, but I thought I just heard one from where we are, but no disagreements. It's a good aggressive swing, but it's a well-formed block there between Bugs and Rodriguez. During that timeout, Victoria was listening in. What'd you hear on the benches?
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, for Blaze, they really need to use their middles here, especially Jonathan. He gets up and can attack the ball really well. They need to take this 1 point at a time, they said, stay calm, and earn their points. Nick.
Thanks so much. Always going to be a fan favorite, well, I guess desk favorite here from us. When you tell us that you're going to run your middle more, you know, we're big fans of establishing that early, opens up the entire offense. But you talk about swinging into those last 2 feet, and there it is at the very best, using all the court there, and that's a great kill for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, Nick, we've touched on it all weekend long about establishing your quicks early in the match to hopefully hold the opposing blockers in place to respect and honor their abilities. But eventually, as the offenses diversify, more guys on the outside hitting those last 2 feet of the court, you know, game gets a little bit more heated.
Sanchez not quite able to convert on that, but big shout out to the middle blocker, Mosicki there, able to find a dig. Wally has a variety of serves between the top spin and there that one is. Hernandez with a good tight pass. And Roshit's going in a battle with O'Gorman, one-on-one. Two guys with big cannons. Gonna see a substitution here. Nick Liz-Dennis comes in for Jordan Wally. So this is a back row transition that Nick Liz-Dennis is the second libero here on the side of the LA Blaze. So looking for a little bit of consistency in his passing. Nick Liz-Dennis. Just sorting out the roster a little bit. We saw Liz Dennis last night coming in as a serving substitution. He also has played a little bit of outside on his end, but mostly this is going to be a defensive substitution. Currently brings the players in with a 3-point lead developing here for the Dallas Tornadoes. The Blaze really need to work together to kind of recenter their passing. And once they do that, I think they're going to get their offense rolling.
So Nick, last night the Blaze lost in 4 games to the Ontario Matadors, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Highly contested match, back and forth, very emotional, a lot of high-level action. The Tornadoes got pretty handled yesterday by the Untouchables.
Yep,
Is that correct?
I believe so.
So both of these teams kind of trying to rebound.
Utah Stingers.
Utah Stingers, thank you. Both of these teams trying to rebound, right? Go home on a win, you know, kind of go home on a high note. Definitely not going home with back-to-back losses.
Okay, we're all settled in here. So, sorry, continue.
No, I was just saying, you know, this is an important sort of match for personal pride, you know, for the team. Like, you know, finish out the weekend number 1, event number 1 of the year on a high note, something to work off of, as opposed to going back to the drawing board and trying to refigure everything out.
Yep, great pass from Massanet. Now we're going outside. No, Gorman takes his turn, but that's a great dig by Sanchez. Roshitz lays one up inside. Hernandez takes the off-speed chop, dug by Belvin. And there's a huge shutdown block in a way we have not seen from Aaron King, the middle blocker, number 43 from the Dallas Tornadoes. That's a huge shutdown block, taking Jonathan Rodriguez out of the offensive system there. And that's a great bit of energy uptick for the side of the Tornadoes.
Yeah, I didn't see that very much last night, but a big block right there. And didn't, you know, good to see that come back from the Tornadoes, get their block and defense dialed in, especially against a guy like Rodriguez.
That was, you know, this is really one of those things that we wanted to see yesterday and that we talked about quite a bit on the broadcast was when the Tornadoes, when you remove yourself from being hyper-focused on the scoreboard and instead look at a team that's growing, they're building up from the ground zero, really. You want to see players, you want to see connections built, you want to see systems developing. And we saw some moments there that really started to build some confidence. And yet today they come out and they're now plugging it all in. Everything they've learned over the last 2 days is putting them in one of the most controlling situations against a good team that the LA Blaze here.
Yeah, it's like, you know, investing in the foundation of your program, right? And I think that's what we're seeing pay off right now.
Roshitz is definitely a guy to invest in. He's got a cannon, and that's a big swing. Catches Roshitz high on the hands there for that touch. Good swing by O'Gorman. I do like this adjustment, though, to bring in Liz Dennis when we talk about the weakness right now at the Blaze is their serve receive. Bring in another defensive specialist. Good pass by Hernandez. He is dialed in today. Roshitz finds the corner once again. That's an aggressive, deep swing out of the D-ball.
Yeah, nice swing by Roshitz there to find that back corner. Gets his team to 21.
Hernandez is really having a stellar match. He's passing very well and creating a lot of consistency right now for the Dallas offense. O'Gorman with a great pass. He gets the set, goes hard angle, but Sanchez playing some phenomenal defense. Roshitz tries to track that one down. That's some A great off-blocker defense, though, from Sanchez.
Yeah, nice scoop there. Way to sit in there, put his helmet on, get that hard angle heat. Unfortunately, they just can't get the ball back over the net to continue that rally.
Nice aggressive swing there by O'Gorman on the outside. Bugs gets an aggressive serve. The fact that, wow, Roshitz gets there. Reset, Sanchez is going to free ball over. Ricky Massanet takes it. Outside, no, O'Gorman swings again. Stop him twice, never.
Well, that's a big hitter advantage for O'Gorman blocking against number 11 in purple.
And Duho, yeah.
Okay. That's going to be advantage O'Gorman every single time.
Andujar, apologies, Ivan Andujar. We are really seeing the Tornado lineup here start to extend some rallies. We saw it yesterday with Schulteis getting a lot of good digs, but wasn't quite the touch he wanted or someone else around. And same goes for Hernandez and Sanchez. So now they're kind of stringing it all together, and they've got Roshitz back there healthy, ready to swing. So as a team, they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
Free ball to the corner, but it's going to be picked up by Liz Dennis. O'Gorman is determined to put the team on his back right now. Great setting identification from Marquise Bugs. You better not stop setting O'Gorman. He's got not only a huge cannon, but he's got a huge blocking mismatch taking advantage of there. Bugs gets a nice bounce off the tape. This one's gonna go to Sanchez. Swings low, blocked by the triple, but reset, and he's gonna take a second swing, chops off the line. Liz Dennis gets a touch, Bugs lays out, Belvin resets, and the Blaze is back in it. Backside to Roshitz, stops his feet just short, and Liz Dennis finds a one-hand punch, not quite enough.
Nice hustle by the Blaze, but a stronger back row attack from the Tornadoes to score that point, to take that 2-point lead back here in the business into this first set.
They were so desperately missing that cannon from Steve Roshitz. He is just putting so much pressure. Good pass from O'Gorman, goes to the backside, uses him once again. And wow, there are so many guys on this Blaze roster that at any given time you can say they can do no wrong. That's 3 kills through that rotation in the front row for O'Gorman. That's a great, great front row look for him.
Good awareness by Bugs to keep feeding his hitter right now.
And there's going to be the substitution of Wally coming back in for Nicholas Dennis. I love that he was willing to just go front row, though. You know, he's like, all right, the coach put me in. I don't know if it's a DS or an O2 substitution, but we're going to make it work.
I'm just playing volleyball, coach. Oh, you need, oh, we're going to switch back. Okay.
That's going to take us 23-21. That's a tough miss there for O'Gorman. Still time, but we need a good pass for in-system swings here from Blaze. Nice pass by Massanet. And Wally swings, there it is. He gets the touch on that one. That's a critical swing. Well done by him to take that breather, come back, and get a kill on the outside. That's going to be a timeout there. I like that timeout call from the Tornadoes.
Yeah, it's a good call. I think, you know, they really need to develop a good strategy right now. Who's their front row hitters, what they want to do offensively out of this timeout. Focus on the pass. Obviously, got to make sure we pass the ball perfectly up to the net so we can have 4 hitters available for this side out. And if you're the Blaze, you've got to put your serve in, and you really got to emphasize your block and defense here.
Yep.
You know, identify who the stronger hitters are in the rotation right now for the Tornadoes. And Blaze, get ready to play defense, get down low, look for the ball to rattle, blockers get over the net, try to take away those alleys and seams that these guys like to hit and score a real point to see if they can tie the game up here.
My quick adjustments, I'm serving Sekiel Sanchez here if I can. And then I want to make sure that we take away that backside swing, because right now Roshitz is absolutely, or he's, I guess he's in front left. So that's going to be a Belvin matchup because you know that ball's going to him.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe a short serve area 2 right here.
Yep. There it is. They put it on him. Handled well by Sanchez. Dug out by Nieves. O'Gorman's going to have to keep this one alive, and Belvin's going to swing. Chops it line. Dug by Schulteis. And that's a good swing on the right from Sanchez to use the smaller block of Wally.
We said it a lot yesterday, Nick. I'll say it again right now. We've got a great line view of the net, and not a single Blaze player's hands were over the net on their block.
Yep. For set point here for the Tornadoes. Wally overpasses, miscommunication, and Roshitz is going to go ahead and sling that one to Sanchez. Belvin bails out early. No one home, and that leaves O'Gorman covering over 2/3 of the court with a down ball coming to him, and that's game.
What a way to finish that first set. Wow.
Yeah.
Unconventional scoring, but it worked nonetheless.
Absolutely, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Dallas Tornadoes taking their first set. Either way, a big win nonetheless. So definitely a small victory at the very least, and that's step one towards a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing a better outcome for them. Their personnel that's on the court for them obviously has made a huge change for Roshitz to be able to swing full speed with his right arm versus yesterday where he was only hitting left-handed exclusively in yesterday's game. You know, that's a big difference as well. We're seeing a different setter on the court.
I think he's running a good offense. That's a great point.
Yeah, he is running a great offense, and then Hernandez is continuing to pass extremely well. Service pressure from the inline, and really they came out and kind of pushed around the Blaze and got them back on their heels early on in this match.
Yeah, and we talked briefly yesterday on it. There are so many ways to win a volleyball game. Obviously, get to 25 first, the most John Madden approach. The guy that scores 25 first is going to win the game. But in terms of execution,
not always true.
Well, yeah, thanks. And as you go towards just how you want to score those, and we're seeing Dallas Tornadoes start to establish a little bit of that, image as a team and what we can expect to see. And they're starting to scrap and we're seeing some big cannons and good pressure. All three of their pins between Roshitz, Sanchez, and Hernandez, big jump servers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've spoken about it all weekend. Putting the premium on your service game from the inline, but to do it consistently.
Yeah.
Again, the risk versus reward that we've talked about. Really, going on those service runs. Okay, you make your first serve, you score a real point, you go back, you turn it up a tiny bit more, you score another point, right? You get another opportunity to serve. Turn it up a tiny bit more again. You find that rhythm, and it pays dividends to other skills while you're on the court, especially when it comes to attacking, right? Or when you go through the front row. Gives you a good rhythm on your approach speed, your step close with your footwork, all those sorts of things as well.
Curious to see, so I would say very confidently, no personnel change on Tornadoes. Side of Blaze, they've got some options. I'm curious what they see. Personally, I think that I would go back the same way you started. I like that lineup from Blaze. I think there's just a little bit of figuring out for them to do with the system. I think this is more something that Coach Eddie Joe can really work them through without needing a personnel change. Because I think they've got the right pieces there.
Yeah, I think, and out of the gates, Belvin bounced that ball on the left side, early on, and then Rodriguez bounced the ball too here and there. Got a couple good kills, but they made two really blaring hitting errors on overpasses.
Yep. Wally and
they
Bugs
did
both had them.
lose by 2 points. So was it those two exact plays? No, it's a combination of factors, but they do need to step up a little bit more.
Sure.
And put some pressure on the Tornadoes, especially from the inline, like we've been talking about, and then also from Jordan Wally. I'd like to see him kind of bounce back a little bit stronger in this game as well.
Yeah, as long as he's confident in his platform, I think he's going to be doing what this team needs. So I don't know what their expectations are of him, but I think we saw them at their very best when, he gets a couple sets. He was hitting really, really high percentages yesterday, but when he was passing as well as he was, that's when he's at his very best. So Sanchez right now determined to test the serve-receive of the LA Blaze right out the gates. Good pass from Wally. Charles takes a chop there, and that's going to be Andujar taking that first one. Bumps it outside. Hernandez goes hard angle, thrown over by Nieves. King dug, and Nieves bump sets O'Gorman, who throws it deep. Sanchez takes it with his hands. Andujar outside to Hernandez. Block touch by Nieves, and not able to corral that one. Much better on both sides. Good rally and great start to set 2.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how the Blaze respond to a game 1 loss, okay?
Yep.
Here on Sunday afternoon, and how they react to that and what they want to do as this match progresses. It's going to be a really telling tale of who they are with their identity as well.
Absolutely, and that's going to be a missed serve there from Sanchez. There's a nice spread on the offense. We saw Aaron King getting involved in the middle early last game, and that kind of tapered off. We'll see if they try to flip that switch once again. Wow, great serve. Roshitz pulls it back in. Step close from Sanchez.
Oh.
That's honestly, I like Wally blocking. I would like to see 2-3 people up there.
I do too. There clearly is a miscommunication as far as Nieves pulled, but Wally didn't. So there's got to be some guys on the same page there. Not too sure what happened, but yeah, 4 hands is definitely better than 2.
That one goes out, and it's interesting. I've been having some conversations with people about that concept of who makes that call, and so I would always have guessed the middle. But I've actually heard in recent times from a variety of people that they would like the libero to make the call, since the libero sets the defense.
Yeah.
That way it's predictable.
Yeah, I think there's merit in naming one specific person to be in charge of that.
Yep.
But everyone has to be on the same page. And depending on how many hours these guys are together in the gym.
Yep, big net there from Hernandez, number 14. You could see it from here. That was a great call, and that's going to be a point for the Blaze. When you got a big wind up there like Charles Belvin, there's only one way I think that Hernandez thinks he can get after that one. That's making an aggressive block move. Great call by our guys in blue. We had that. We got a great eye line on that one. There's a nice middle connection on the 3. Andujar falling back, lays that one up for Mosicki. Great connection there. So I was talking about getting King involved, but we'll take Mosicki off the bench all day long.
Yeah, long distance 31, fired it in there. Nice hitting line by Mosicki. Finds it deep in the court.
O'Gorman has to just pass that one high. One option there with Wally. Nicely dug by Schulteis. Bugs finds a dig. It's going tight. Ooh. Reset by Roshitz. And a rounding swing there from Sanchez. Charles with a step close. Nice dig by Roshitz. And now Hernandez takes his turn. But you talk about getting over the net. No one does it better than Jonathan Rodriguez, number 14 from the Blaze. Jets that ball straight down in the seam. That's a huge point.
Yeah, it was a really well formed block by Jonathan there. Got his hands and arms strong over the net, sealed off the alleys, and blocked that ball down pretty fast.
Schulteis with a good pass. Once again, big route from Sanchez, dug by Belvin. Expect the dump. Seen well by Hernandez. Charles is going to bump set to the outside, and Wally gets a big swing. But that one's going to go long. Sorry, we were waiting to see if the refs were, there was a couple looks. Everything is good to go here, though, as Hernandez heads back. Tied at 4s. Belvin lands almost under the net.
Kid can jump, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Belvin can absolutely jump out of the gym. His slender frame allows him to get a little extra hang time, I feel like.
A little aerodynamic,
aerodynamics, yeah. And a lefty, bringing in some really different angles on his offense that some teams probably haven't seen yet.
Good one-on-one help there from O'Gorman. Ricky Massanet bump sets over his shoulder, and O'Gorman takes a swing, once again covered, and recycled to Belvin now, who roll shots over the top. And that's what's so scary. If you haven't played against Belvin yet, you start to kind of be shocked on the angles that he'll hit at you. And just as you think you're starting to gain a little bit of a knowledge of where he's going to hit, he hits that off speed. He's been working hard to develop that as a secondary go-to, and it works so well there.
Yeah, bringing it in, actually bringing it out at a good time right there, and developing that shot will pay off for him in the long run.
Jordan Wally right now just having some struggles with that back line. He's got some great looking swings, but he just cannot get them to find that court. Mosicki goes deep. And it's going to go right back. O'Gorman jets that off the double block of the Tornadoes.
Blaze kind of, they're doing really well offensively from the pins. Haven't gotten their middles involved much yet in the second set or at the end of the first set, but fortunately they've got Rodriguez blocking, and now Nieves comes into the front row. So defensively it'll help, but they need to incorporate them offensively here a little bit more.
Totally agree. Wow. And if you're not going to get set offensively, how about you just take a rip from the serve and generate it yourself?
Yeah, really nice to see Jonathan contribute from the end line with an ace. A little bit of an unconventional contact on the ball with a friendly bounce off the tape, and a little bit of a dodgeball action there going on. But an ace is an ace, and Jonathan earns the point for his team, and we were at our first technical timeout, Nick.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that when you think about the progression of a serve receive right now. So if you look at Blaze, they're not getting aced. And you always hear that teams that are very annoyed, one of those favorite lines when they're not passing well or they're overpassing is, guys, please just pass the ball high in the middle of the court. And right now, we've seen a good adjustment. Blaze has stopped overpassing, and they're putting everything high in the middle of the court.
Yeah.
Now the reality is that means that you're going pin to pin, you're not using your middle, and that's making Bugs run a bit. But it's a good first step, and now they slowly try to dial that in and walk it towards the net. So it's certainly a better position to be in, and while it's not perfect, you're not forcing every single set at this point. So it's a good spot to be in.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Nick. It's a great point. They made that adjustment, brought their passes back off the net a little bit so that Bugs doesn't have to jump one-handed every single time.
Right.
Can get a little bit better location with two hands. Like we said, statistically, it is proven that setting with two hands is better than one.
Always the Golden Nuggets. Huge serve from Rodriguez, but an even better pass.
Well played by the Tornadoes. We had to fight that one off. I mean, that's a little bit of a heat sinker, right? Heat seeker, jump serve, knuckleball float, hybrid. I don't even know what he's calling it, but
that's as good a serve as they come.
Yeah.
That is handled perfectly by Hernandez.
Yep.
Andujar sends it deep, gets O'Gorman, but O'Gorman gets him right back.
O'Gorman really likes that angle. We saw him hit that ball several times last night. He's already done it a couple of times here too. The hard angle, especially after he passes the ball. Gets in a nice rhythm. There's a good connection there to the outside, and he just comes in high and hard for a strong kill cross court.
Blaze now up 3. They're answering back to that first set loss well. And it really speaks to when we were saying, I don't think any personnel changes were warranted. Their on-court strategies have made some nice changes, and that's not always something that changes with the bodies that are on the court. It changes across the court. It's the mindset. So good adjustments here, and we'll see if Sanchez can put some pressure back on them serving. Massanet not flinching at all, and in fact finds that perfect pass adjustment we were talking about, activating Nieves in the middle.
Yeah, not the aggressive serve that the Tornadoes were probably looking for, especially when you serve it to the libero in red there, Massanet, who passed perfectly for a quick kill out of the middle.
We're seeing some back-to-back missed serves there. Blaze needs to start managing that and kind of dial it in. Last night, at one point, Victoria gave us that little insight that they were up 12-3 over the Matadors and missed serves, and we're starting to see that creep right back in.
Dueling service errors right there, back-to-back service errors as Rodriguez comes back into the front row for the LA Blaze.
Nieves has a very consistent and good float serve here, so hopefully able to hit his target, whoever that may be. There it is, good pass by Hernandez. Now Roshitz with a big approach, swings that one long for the first time. He's been hitting that corner perfectly.
Coaching staff asking for a challenge, but we don't have the challenge system here, so just using the refs.
So instead we refer to the call made by the referees, and that's going to be a point to the Blaze.
Yep.
Hernandez with a good hand pass, and Roshitz gets it right back. Nice touch by O'Gorman. Nieves.
I don't know if Nieves could have gotten that ball. He's looking at the line judge like, get out of my way, man. But Nieves isn't the fastest player on the team.
I was going to say, there's a couple other guys on this roster that I could say makes an argument for that, but he is not one of them. Now, Anthony Robinson, #1 on the Texas Tyrants. Yeah, that guy was all over the place earlier today.
He was.
And right now, the name of the game is make your serve. As much as I love Charles Belvin's jump serve, put the float in, Charles. Not because of what your your current level is, but the passing has been good on the side of Dallas Tornadoes. But make them make some mistakes. Let your guys play. There it is, good control on the jump serve. I like that too. And there's a huge swing, and that's going to be a block out of the middle. Great management of that point by the LA Blaze.
Great reaction by Jonathan Rodriguez there, read blocking and getting one hand over the net to take away the angles from Mosicki as he got to hit that ball a little bit deeper maybe for a kill.
And that block is going to take the Tornadoes to a timeout, down by 5. 14-9 is a great answer back here on the side of the LA Blaze.
Nick, what are you seeing needs to be done by the Dallas Tornadoes here to possibly get some of those 5 points back?
You know, their serve receive is so dialed in right now. I'm not worried about that. I think the big thing that you want to see is just the ability to extend some rallies. So right now, I would like to see the pin blockers bring your block in a half foot, give your middles a chance to close up some seams, look for a couple more block touches, especially when Belvin and O'Gorman love attacking that hard seam. So make sure you get some touches, slow that down, because when Dallas Tornadoes are rallying, they are at their very best.
Yeah, and they're doing that. They're trying to do that. They're getting a little momentum on their side, but the Blaze have kind of counterbalanced that with that nice block by Rodriguez.
Missing less serves would also be good. I felt like that was an easy answer, though, so
I would agree with you.
I opted out of something creative. Nice pass by Hernandez. Goes up, uses that outside hand, but Belvin's there and ready to play it up. Wally now goes, gets another swing off the hands. Good cover by the off blocker of Hernandez, and Sanchez takes a rip. And that's a touch by Massanet. Well done. I talk all the time about the importance of committing to playing defense first as an outside, and seeing Hernandez willing to step in underneath that block and find that allows Sanchez to take a big route swing and find the point. Well done by the Tornadoes.
Yeah, the sport has an uncanny ability to reward the hardest workers on the court and also expose the laziest ones.
Yep, that it does. But O'Gorman determined to answer back. Really glad the Roshitz had his hands up there, because that was protection for a little bit of the headshot, potentially. Bug's definitely one of those setters that when he sees something go well for another team, he wants to showcase that his guys can do it too. And we see that big attack immediately in response to the Tornadoes.
Yep.
Never wants his guys to be outshined. Nice pass by Schulteis. And that's going to trickle through the block of the Blaze. Got a couple Dallas Tornado players excitedly heading into the match. Got the coach making sure they don't get to that 10-foot line yet. Oh my goodness, there's the turn and the swing. The infectious energy from Jonathan Rodriguez earns a big point.
Yeah, man, we've said it before. He really can fly offensively. He's extremely athletic. He's a 6'8" middle blocker out of Puerto Rico. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's got good range. The pass is there. Bugs needs to keep setting him because they're going to need a lot of point production from him in order to win this match today.
Yeah, that was impressive to say the least. You know, and we saw Aaron King get him once early on, but I would be very confident challenging my guys to, or I'd be very confident in getting Aaron King to try and get Rodriguez once again, because that's a tough one.
Yeah, he may need to commit, do some block scheming kind of front, maybe, depending on who the other hitting options are for the Blaze, especially out of this timeout, kind of creating a, well, Blaze is going to be serving, I believe, so it doesn't really matter. Because offensively, the Tornadoes need to have a better offensive game plan right out of this timeout.
Absolutely, and Victoria, I think you're seeing a little more down there. Over to you.
Thanks, Nick. For the Tornadoes right now, the outside hitter needs to help block on the middle, especially because Blaze has such a dominant middle attack. Outside needs to help slow that ball down so left back can maybe get a dig on it and they can convert. The Tornadoes also were talking about how they want to serve deep to area 1, so it's harder to push the ball to the outside hitter, so look for that this set.
Awesome. That's a really good point when you talk about serving targets versus serving locations. So we'll see how that unfolds. Now right back into it. Wally runs that big route dug by Hernandez as he's out of system. Sanchez rolls it over. Rodriguez with a pass and going back out to the outside. And there's O'Gorman funnels that one through. And that swing right there is exactly why, you know, Victoria's got such a great point there. You can't stop O'Gorman on the net with the current blocking matchup that's there. So maybe you can slow him down by making some adjustments to your serving targets and pushing them out of system. Rodriguez just misses that one long.
That would have been a great opportunity to do the double sub, even if it was for one rotation, to go back just to get a blocking sub. Except they're on serve reception, so it really wouldn't make a difference.
Belvin gets up with that D-ball, and there's the combination. We see Aaron King getting involved once again alongside Sequil Sanchez.
It's a big block right there. Big block.
O'Gorman tracks that one all the way to the line, gets there, and then basically stops and makes sure he doesn't get hit in the follow-through. Blaze still more than comfortable to hold on to this 5-point lead. Big serve by Bugs, and that's going to end up to Roschitz. And Roschitz not able to find the touch he's looking for, but that guy puts a ton of pace behind that swing.
A lot of pace, but he's having a hard time finding the hands. I feel like he's dropping his head a little bit, kind of taking his eye off the ball when he makes contact with it. Not really staying vertical and tall and driving that ball down to the court. He's missing the ball long every time, which is good. He's not hitting the net or getting blocked, but he's just not hitting those fingertips that I think he's trying for.
Wow, Bugs changes it up, goes for something a little bit short, and in that case, he's able to get that friendly bounce off the tape. Gonna clean up some perspiration on the court after a couple of the Tornadoes players laid out there trying to get that one up. Bugs just missing long, but more than happy to go back and hit a couple aggressive serves. Definitely in one of those windows. When you're 4 or 5 plus points, start hammering your best serve because you want to extend the lead, be greedy with it, and the other team might be a little bit in safety mode, so definitely a good move there. There's O'Gorman being activated once again. We're seeing Wally at his best with a great pass against that serve.
O'Gorman from the right has been pretty effective. Last night he was playing 0-2 until the third set, and he was effective from the left side specifically, exclusively from the left side, but now we're seeing him take some good swings from the right side as well.
Still want to see him hit that jump serve. Like I said, when you got this spacing, hit what you hit best. So
Yeah.
now we're going to see substitution. That's going to be Javier Guerrero coming in as a serving sub for Aaron King. It's interesting. Back in November, we saw a lot of teams very, very willing to use their a lot of serving subs, but we saw the same result that we just saw right there with a lot of missed serves.
Yeah.
And it was something that as I kind of went back and rewatched the tournament, I was very critical of. And I thought that teams, you know, on paper it sounds great to use a serving sub, but if they're going in and missing serves, stop using them.
Yeah.
And that one just doesn't quite work out either. So then again, I guess you could always leave the middle in to miss for himself in that situation.
Oh, that's a lot of missed serves in a row right there.
That's a lot of missed serves. We've had a bunch this set so far, so forgive our negative outlook, but we want to see better.
We demand better, Nick.
We demand better. I like that. And better we get. Steve Roshitz delivers in a timely fashion.
Right on cue.
Sometimes I have to think that they can hear us out there. Dialed it back a little bit. Someone that's been, you know, he's been sending balls long for the last couple swings. That was a good adjustment on his part. Yeah, we're deep. We're deep in the double digits for service errors, I think, right now. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but we might be pushing the league record.
Is there a league record?
Well, there will be today. Schulteis with a great pass. Nice involvement from the middle there. We're seeing Mosicki get right after it. Schulteis is really upping his ability to influence the game. Yesterday, he was looking good, but just a little bit off. And today, he's right where he wants to be. That gray jersey looking great.
Yeah, Schulteis has really upped his game in that libero position. His passing has been lights out today so far.
Hernandez with a good serve. Oh, double dump over. Oh, there's a rejoust. Rodriguez using his physicality to make that work. Tipped over the top. Rodriguez resets. And now the big from O'Gorman. Dug by Roshitz. Massanet there to conquer it once again. And there's a huge stuff block. Mosicki is dialed in and ready to defend the court for the Tornadoes.
Marquise Buggs just tends to telegraph the I'm hitting on two move a little too early, and so the blockers are able to prepare for it like they did just right there.
Certainly the case, but you know, Hernandez in a good spot to really extend or try to minimize the lead right now, but that's Jordan Wally putting a quick kibosh on that run. We see that Nicholas Dennis substitution coming in once again. I think it's really just that, you know, keep getting Wally an opportunity to talk with him, talk strategy, and he's been missing a couple serves, but Nicholas Dennis had a great first substitution last night, and I think he's 0 for 4 on the last 4.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's not having the magic he had in primetime last night so far today.
I think it was the 30-second run-up intro that he got in that first one. Squeaked out an ace on his very first serve.
Yep, I think you're right.
And now we see a substitution for the side of the Tornadoes. That's number 1, Alex Reyes. Massanet with a good pass. Tight ball, but O'Gorman's more than happy to take advantage of that with his physical jumping prowess. And that's going to be a game going back to the Blaze. So both teams still fighting that one out and definitely not ready to roll over.
Yeah, good response by the Blaze to come back and win the second set there. You know, they made a couple of nice adjustments. They made their serves, although we did see quite a few missed serves from both squads in that set a little bit. good offensive production from O'Gorman on the right and the left. Middle's getting involved, hitting the ball deep.
Yep.
Right? You saw great passing from Massanet. Some good defense. Bugs is spreading the offense around. And meanwhile, for the Tornadoes, you know, I can't really put my finger on one thing they need to fix, per se. But other than service errors, again, that's a little bit of the fault of both teams at the moment.
It is, and I think that right now, since again we don't know exactly what the Tornadoes want to do to win, and what I mean by that is we don't know what their consistent answer is. I think the simple first step is, guys, start making the serves. If you're Roshitz, green light, don't care what the state of the game is, I need him hammering serves. Same thing for Hernandez. But guys like Sanchez right now need to make sure they're managing their serves. You also need to see a little bit of serve management from both your middles and Duhar. You've got to know where you can take your misses.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nick. Maybe dial the lineup a little bit, see what you can get, better matchups per se, you know, offensively versus defensively. Put an emphasis on the serves. Okay, you've missed too many serves in that game, and you know you're going to want to try to right the ship a little bit. It's going to start someplace, and it needs to start with their service errors.
Totally. And again, when if I had to guess, there was upwards of 15 service errors. So when you remove 15 points out of 48, you know, there's a third of the game that's not getting played.
Yep.
It's really hard to know what does need to be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we're not going off of much offensively or defensively because it's a lot of chances to see it all unfold because there were so many missed serves.
I believe Victoria got a little bit more.
I do. Rolling off of your service errors, for the game right now, Blaze has 14 and Tornadoes have 7. So if both sides can control this, I mean, step one of volleyball, make your serve if you want to win the game, right? Nick.
Well, there it is. Couldn't be more timely with that one. So it's actually good to see that the Tornadoes are, you know, 3.5 missed serves on average. I'm just averaging that out. I don't know where those landed. That's totally manageable. 7 a game is not so much.
No, definitely not. 7 in one game is very high and needs to be addressed by the staff and the coaches and the players themselves.
So I think I kind of go back to my same point, and we're not at a great angle to know exactly what the system's looking like for the Tornadoes, where the holes are in the block, what the seams look like. But I think that they were doing a great job in the first set of getting a lot of block touches and playing some pretty lights-out defense around it. Yeah. So anything they can do to return to that, kind of re-facilitate that, and maybe it is upping, you know, hearing the number kind of tells you maybe they can afford a little bit more aggressive serving.
Yeah, maybe they can, and we'll see if that's something that they want to employ in this third set.
Yeah, because a little bit more aggressive serving, maybe that gets the Blaze back out of system a little bit and slows down the likes of O'Gorman and Belvin. Blaze not looking for any personnel changes. Once again, I don't think we're going to see many other than the continued swapping around in that 0-2 position for Blaze with Jordan Wally, but more than happy to see him back out there. But I don't think that we've seen Tornadoes show any indication that they've got a lineup that's going to gel better than what's there right now.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Nick, other than it looks like a flip-flop of the roster. But, yeah, players are all the same. Hernandez, Rosic, you know, Mosicki. Those are kind of the 3 guys, and I'm sorry, Sanchez as well. The 4 of their hitters that really need to step up their games a little bit. You know, find the court. Rosic, a few too many hitting errors that game. Hernandez, maybe not as many hitting attempts that game. You know, so they got to tweak and they got to play with a little more sense of urgency as well, like they did in that first set.
Also, I want to see Roshitz continue to challenge the block. I love, you know, the beach mentality very, very frequently is there's only 2 guys on the court, so you avoid the block. You don't really try to challenge it as much. It's where can you hit the shots around it or take what they give you. Yeah. But here, you know, be okay swinging into that a little bit. Look for a reset. Look for some big challenges. Right. See if you can get the tools.
Especially
make it work.
If you know that your teammates are there to cover you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, let's see what they're made of. School Tice with a great tight pass, and now Belvin blocks Sanchez, but it's reset. Lefty roll shot over there for Roshitz, and Belvin does his turn to roll over the top. And he just hides it quite well. That one, though, the thing is he brings it from a low point of contact, but he hides it in the way that he jumps. So if you're not paying attention, you're not going to see it. And Sanchez sees it early and makes sure that his guys are paying attention to the shoulder there to pick that one up early. There's a nice hand dig by Wally. Free ball over coming by O'Gorman. Sanchez with the biggest swing we've seen him be able to hit, and that goes outside the blocker on the line in Charles Belvin. Huge swing for Sanchez. King with a little jump serve, puts some good pace and puts Massanet out of system. O'Gorman, the high flyer though, shut down by the newly in the game Mosicki. There's a little bit of that blocking adjustment. We're seeing them do a good job finding touches, resetting plays, and in that case, ending the play right there.
Yeah, well-formed block by Mosicki. You know, we haven't seen a lot of blocks from him, but that one was pretty strong. And hopefully it can start a trend as we go through this third set.
That's Charles Belvin volleyball at its very best. Great set over the head by Wally. And Belvin finds that one somehow off of his left hand. Yeah. Middle blocker Jonathan Rodriguez looks over at us, laughs as he makes fun of Charles for his ability to just kind of take 2 baby steps, jump, and then put his waist over the net. O'Gorman starts the game early with that missed serve. One of the guys on that team, honestly, though, that I can kind of allow, he's got to be allowed to miss him with the power on that serve.
Yeah, I think he's got the green light to jump serve every time. Nice quick attack there by Nieves. But to go back to the point about O'Gorman serving, just try to find some consistency. Hit that first one in, see if you get a chance to score another point, and then go back and turn your serve up a little bit. I've been saying it before on repeat. You know, get on your own service run, okay? Start with one in, turn it up for the next one, see how it goes. But don't miss the first.
Yep. Nieves finds a good target, but great pass by Schultes. Good dig there, and that's going to be a set to Belvin. Belvin absolutely flying. He scares me when he takes a jump like that. I thought he was going completely into the net.
Can we get some vertical leap testing going on before the next event?
Well, right about here on my chest, so that's right around. We're standing courtside, and that was one of the most impressive leaps we've seen of the day. Throws that one off the hand.
Quite a few guys would like to see what their vertical leap is, at.
Definitely. There's the big route from O'Gorman covered, and it's going to be free balled over. Blaze able to make it work. Hernandez takes the first one, and that's going to go outside now, and Roshitz goes deep into the angle. One of those tough balls that Belvin sticks a hand out there, and it was probably going out, but you get less time to make the move than you can even mentally process.
It's just purely a reactionary moment in a split second, and you think if it's close to you, it's going to be in because you were standing in the court. You know, it'd be one thing if you were standing outside the court and it hit you.
Yeah. But Belvin determined, just sends that one long.
Interesting. Thought that one was in.
I thought so too, but we don't have the angle, so we'll
that's right, we're not the referees.
Take them as they come. We're just here to talk about the game. Great pressure from Sanchez, handled well by Wally. And now he goes for that same look, but he gets the touch called there. And Roshitz not putting up any disagreements. So that's a great call. They see that one. Wally doing a nice job of battling through that serve, receive, and taking advantage of that high swing. Tight ball, trap set, and there he is. Hernandez able to put that one over the net by jamming it through. Nice serve there by Mosicki. Tight, short set. And that one,
Wow.
you should have seen that one coming from a mile away, but no one quite there to handle that one.
Give credit to Massanet for that cover. Okay,
Yeah.
so Bugs kind of set Rodriguez a little bit low, kind of got jammed in there. Massanet covers his hitter, and then Bugs goes back over again. So nice all-around play by LA Blaze.
Absolutely, and now we're going to see Nicholas Dennis subbed in once again. Just not finding the mojo today.
Thank you.
Good serve by Roschitz. Rodriguez a little off balance, finds a swing. Now Sanchez returns it. Great return block there, able to find the, they see the Bic coming back at them. Double block set up by the Blaze, and they block that one down. Tornado's unable to recover.
Yeah, nice few couple ping pong plays there, kind of bang bang plays. Nice heads up play by the Tornadoes to keep it involved. Unfortunately, they got the first, but not the second.
Nice pass by Schulteis. Liz Dennis in the perfect spot for that dig. And now to O'Gorman. He goes a little bit of an off speed over the top, dug by Hernandez, who got his ankle a little bit there. And he's potentially going to need a sub out, not sure. Nope, just aggravated at the end of that point, and that's going to be an 8-7 lead for the Blaze coming into this technical timeout. Certainly glad that it was nothing more than just kind of a banging of his ankle or a little tweak or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be a big loss if one of these starters for the Tornadoes went down with an injury. Hopefully that's not the case. But you see Coach Andres really talking to his team, making sure they're focused on what they need to do, is calm and collective, talking about looks like maybe some block and defense techniques, strategies, focusing on the next point, not getting lost in whatever else is going on with the scoreboard or you know, some of that inner workings of what's going on between the two teams. So
I always love, you know, and I try to just pay attention to it. When we're in these timeouts, I love seeing the body language and the way the guys react to each other, because I think it's very telling for, we're taking our best shot at interpreting how the match is progressing, but we can't hear what they're saying. We don't know the inner workings of the teams always. So seeing how the guys react to their game plans, what their body language says, I think it's a very telling thing and shows exactly how these matches are going, and just hearing the confidence on the side of the Blaze, guys being supportive of each other. It's definitely a good thing as they're kind of rebounding, trying to find their way back, because it's a little bit out of sorts on their end, but the willingness to fight is definitely what's going to find them through this match.
yep.
Nice pass by Hernandez. Good help blocked by O'Gorman. Free ball's coming over from Sanchez now. Liz Dennis puts them in system, and there's the back one. That's going to fall in the court, and that's Hernandez helping out. Victoria earlier said she wants to see the front row outside help out with the middles, and on that back one route, Hernandez steps in and takes it away. Nieves shut down. Nice pass by Liz Dennis, and there's the dump from front row Bugs. A lot of setters with his size and like affinity for dumping are very happy to get that tight pass when they're front row, because it just opens them up as an offensive option.
Yeah, those guys, they like to be involved as well, like you said. I feel like they can take advantage of some mismatches, but also makes the block and defense of the other team respect them at the net.
High block touch here, reset by Nieves, and they go to the outside. O'Gorman with big swing. We're seeing a lot of huge block touches that are resetting balls all over the place, and in that case, out of the back of the court.
Yeah, it really puts an emphasis on your coverage positioning, where you're at when the ball gets blocked back, and if you're able to pick up one of those ones that go deep or not. But they're only playing the ones that go inside the lines, right, Nick?
That's the idea. Off speed here, handled well by Schulteis. And Sanchez able to squeak that one through the block of the Blaze. Belvin not happy with that end result. King serves deep to Massanet, and now Nieves sides out wonderfully.
Offensively, Nieves and Bugs have had created a good connection between the two of them. Last night we saw it. We've seen it throughout this match as well. It's nice to see the more experienced middle blocker here get some points on offense for the Blaze.
Yeah, and it's funny because the way in which that's developed is very similar to last night, where it was very slow to start. You want to see them try to find it, and then as it gets going, they really, really pick up speed with it. So it's in full swing right now, and definitely something to be utilized.
Just got to reel that in a little bit.
Yep.
Turn it down a notch. Okay, just blasting it into the net. Find the court. Take it down to 70% if you need to. You just spin it in. Put it in some seams, right? Challenge the passers. Don't just blast it into the net.
Absolutely agree with you there. Good float here by Nieves. Out of system, but Roshit's determined to take a big swing. O'Gorman gets the dig. And now he takes another swing, but the one-on-one, we are seeing Mosicki determined to make a nice little adjustment on the blocking moves that he's been making.
Rosic has got a heavy arm. That was a heavy swing from him. A nice dig, but a well-disciplined block by Mosicki, excuse me.
That's going to be a service ace there for Sanchez, much needed on the side of the Tornadoes. 12-12 brings them to tied up. Victoria, what are you seeing?
Thanks, Nick. A few rotations ago, Blaze made it pretty prevalent that they want to set high fours when the Tornadoes setter is front row. So look for that, as the attack will be coming from one of their strong pin hitters. As for the Tornadoes, they're just staying steady on their side, slowing things down and trying to space the ball out as well. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks so much. And I can tell that all of us are feeling the effects of bringing the NVA fans 3 full days of volleyball here. Lots of talking on our end. I'm feeling that one for sure on my end too. But you couldn't be more right with that breakdown. And just seeing how Blaze is going to adapt right now is a big part of that. But taking advantage of a small blocker there is definitely going to be a big advantage.
Oh,
and Belvin throwing a hand out there once again, saving Roshitz as he's swinging wide there. Both teams right now doing a lot of work to bring their guys back into the court, make sure that everyone's in high spirits because they know this is a knockdown, drag-out fight. Back set to the Belvin here on the D-ball. Sanchez tight, Hernandez goes for the wipe. Wally keeps it alive, and Rodriguez looks for a short shot. But Aaron King takes his swing, and O'Gorman gets a double touch there.
Double contact on Grant O'Gorman. Sorry, on O'Gorman. Travis, excuse me. Left hand, right hand.
Yeah.
It's too bad Massanet was right there with him, actually. Maybe could have played that first contact.
Yeah. Mosicki with a nice serve, but forces the Belvin swing. And that was very unfortunate. Andujar made a great move, and then the ball hit the tape. So that little bounce kind of threw off the tempo at which he was making his move and brings a point back for the Blaze. As always, curious to see what Wally chooses for a serve here. I assume it's going to be his jump serve, no hybrid. There it is, great pressure, but a nice pass by Hernandez. And Roshitz swings into O'Gorman. I think there was one more touch that kept that alive, but that was as terminal as a block as you can see. And like you said earlier, hard input means hard output. If you hit as hard as he does, the only time you get blocked means you're getting blocked straight down.
Yeah, well-formed block for sure. But the Blaze continuing to shore up their blocking defense and hopefully get some runs on their serves here.
Little misconnection, tight pass from Sanchez, and Andujar does his very best to bring that one back, but not quite able to find it, and that one's gonna fall in the middle of the court as we get a nice 2-point opening for the LA Blaze. Both teams doing a better job here managing serves.
Yes, we have seen an improvement in the lack of missed serves in this third set.
And, you know, it's a lot to ask, but not only have they stopped missing the serves, but we're seeing increased serve. Like, it's not that they opted for just easy serves. There's been a better job of managing serves. Still some pretty big ones going in. Wally on a nice little run right now. But I have to say, I am still beyond impressed with the adjustments we've seen from number 14 on the side of the Dallas Tornadoes. Hernandez serve receive has been nails, and he's been the target of over 50% of the serves, but he just cannot be shaken. And many teams, you have the conversation that early on, you know, it's kind of like a throwback to that Stunners. Amato had a great match opening up. He passed 5 or 6 balls, and he was almost perfect.
Yeah.
But some teams really want to just start, not just over one game. They want to go over the process of 2, 3 games. They want to start to wear a passer down and finally break their guy. So maybe that was part of the strategy for the Blaze, but Hernandez has been unshaken thus far.
Yeah, he's really solidified that spot as an outside hitter after we saw him play opposite at the beginning of yesterday's match and then transferring over to the left side where he had a bigger impact on the game overall. Can tell he's way more comfortable in the outside hitter position as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the double headshot. Gets both O'Gorman and Nieves. Bugs up front is the lone survivor left untouched. But that's the first time I've ever seen the ping pong.
Yeah, that's a rarity right there.
The Blaze bench laughing as they saw all 3 guys get hit. Tight pass.
Oh.
Kept alive with no lift. A slap of the wrist from O'Gorman. And that one's not able to be kept up.
Unfortunate, not the best set location there in that play right now. Hernandez is a little upset with that choice as well, I think. But, down by 2, you know, the Tornadoes need to reel it together a little bit, kind of regroup. Don't fraction, don't split off and go to your little island. Come bring the team together, rally the troops, earn a side out.
And Rodriguez goes and hammers that one into the net. You know, to top on my soapbox real quick, I think that the lift is a call that is very subjective and sometimes called incorrectly. There are certainly plays that are lifts. That was not a good-looking touch by O'Gorman. I would not have called it myself either. And Tornadoes needs to be able to just let that happen and keep rallying because they get you know, let off the hook with a missed serve there. But had that not been missed out, you can't lose more points based on just a disagreement.
Right. Yeah. And how unlikely is it that the ref's going to change their call anyways?
Certainly.
Yeah. Certainly not likely.
Certainly not likely. Yes. Yeah. I was certainly agreeing with your assessment.
Just wanted to clarify for the fans at home.
Bugs with a good control serve. Sanchez gets that one back, and he is starting to finally connect. He knows the swing that he wants. Andujar gets him all the way out to that pin, and that is a good look for Sanchez.
The line digger needs to sit in there, put his helmet on and get those arms out. He may have dug that ball, but he sort of kind of cashed it in on that one and may have conceded the kill.
And that's going to be Javier Guerrero back in as a serving sub here for Aaron King. Pushes that one deep, taken by Wally. Belvin takes a deep chip shot, and that's going to be a net. Called against the Tornadoes.
It was unfortunate when you get a nice dig and then it's negated by a net violation.
Yep. Captain Steve Roshitz goes over to just verify who it was. And what that actually means is he doesn't care. He's just trying to slow the game down a little bit and control the pace, if I had to give my insight and assessment on that situation. But that deep swing still not quite finding the court for such an explosive guy. Just take a little bit off, dial it in. A lot of similarities between how he and O'Gorman play right now, and we're seeing some similar errors in terms of that long swing.
We talked about that yesterday too, Nick, the parity on each team, you know,
Yep.
pitting sort of the libero versus the libero, right? In this instance, 0-1 versus 0-1, you know, who's kind of winning those little mini battles of this, you know, overall, you know, competition.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, we're seeing a little bit more serving consistency out of Roshitz, luckily. But now it's going to be Andujar pushing this one in, and Belvin takes a high swing. Such a good adjustment. If he had hit that ball, his swing trajectory there was low seam. He recognizes a good block, takes something off of it, and just uses high hands there and goes over the shorter back row player in Andujar.
LA Blaze kind of inching closer to possibly winning this third set here. Nieves back serving now. Hernandez, out of system pass. Down ball coming.
Nice dig by Nieves. And Wally bangs one out, but it's dug by Hernandez. Roshitz goes for that lefty swing, covered up, and it's going right back out to him. Net by Belvin. And that's going to be the outside duo right there. Well, I suppose Roshitz is still oppo, but the pin duo, Hernandez's effort is really unrivaled right now, determined to cover up his guy. And that was one of those things that we talked about. I want to see Roshitz continue to challenge the block. Let his guys recycle. He's going to see benefit. And there it is right there.
Unfortunately, in that instance with Belvin, he blocked the first ball, but then didn't reset fast enough to have an opportunity to block the second attack. So he kind of makes a broad jump and actually lands into the net on a blocking move. It's unfortunate to see.
Little bounce off the tape. Rodriguez, the set is low, and so he's basically swinging with a broken elbow outside of his body. When I say broken, I just mean bent, not physically broken, of course, but you know, not quite able to get on top of it and snap down on top of that ball the way he would like. Serve goes just long, but some good pressure. We're seeing Sanchez doing a nice job of. He was missing earlier on some first serves. He's done a couple small serving runs, last 2 or 3 attempts there. So.
Yep. Yeah. Well, right now they need to side out fast, not give up any points here if you're a Tornado. But we're gonna have a quick timeout by the Tornadoes to strategize on a good, strong game plan here.
And that's is that which outside is front row right now for Blaze? Is that Wally front row?
I believe so.
Can't remember. Basically,
I believe so. Wally and
Rodriguez.
Belvin and Rodriguez.
No, Belvin's serving. So.
Oh, is he?
So right now, I think the big takeaway is you've got to recognize that you've got a front row setter. So if at any point this goes tight, goes out of system, you know that Bugs is going to look for that dump. So I'd like to see a fronting of the setter here from number 14, Hernandez. Yeah, he is the front row outside. So I want to see him front the setter to help out on the middle in transition, but also be there to take away a potential dump option. Hopefully that was a point of discussion during that Dallas Tornadoes timeout.
Whenever Bugs is in the front row, you have to make sure that your back row players are realizing that he is front row and to be prepared for the dump.
Nice serve by Charles. Hernandez with a great pass. He gets the set, but he's going to hit that one into the antenna. Tough swing, but once again, you got a great pass there. I'd like to see that going back to Roshitz or even funnel that through the middle with Mosicki.
Yeah.
Victoria, we got a close one going on. What are you seeing?
Yeah, Nick, Belvin right now has 5 kills in this match. This set alone, he's batting 600 at the moment. So look for the setter to even feed him in the back row here. Nick?
Absolutely. It's always just great to see those numbers fed into the match because it really helps understand exactly where the setter wants to go and what his mindset is. And in a tight one in the end like this, Belvin's your go-to. He's a clutch guy, so we'll see how that unfolds. Serving substitution now. Last time that was made, we saw an ace happen there for number 1 Alexis Reyes, but does not happen here. And as a result, that's going to bring the Blaze to set point number 2 for them at the end of game 3 here. Huge serve, great pass by Sanchez, and they go back to Roshitz, and he hits that one down the line. Okay, that one's out. Ricardo Massanet is a very disciplined digger, so when his foot is on the line, he's going to know if that's high on his left shoulder, that ball's going out.
Yeah, absolutely. He's well positioned on his base defense. He makes a good adjustment move, and when you've got your left foot on the line as that left back defensive player, anything to your left you know is going to be out of bounds.
Right.
And that's exactly what he did.
So we see the Dallas Tornadoes not quite able to answer back after Blaze take 2. They now take game 2 and 3. So the pressure's kind of back on them to figure this one out. But I really do think they've got the right magic. They are just knocking on the door. A couple small mistakes, and I think really dialing in their setter options, like the set selection there, might have saved them a couple points. As great as Hernandez is playing, where he's successful as an outside a lot of the time is by passing. You've got big arms in the sides of Sanchez and Roshitz, so activate them. Use those guys.
Yeah, and if you're the Blaze, you've done a good job dialing your block and defense to get some good blockers in front of Hernandez and Roshitz, right? Because you know that they're prioritizing those 2 players as their main key hitters offensively, and so you have to have your best blockers against them in those 3 rotations per guy.
It'll be interesting to see if and what adjustments are made. I think that the middles are doing a better job today than we have seen all weekend long for the Tornadoes, so good to see that going their way. On the side of the Blaze, it's always, again, I always talk team dynamics. It's very interesting. Right now, Blaze is very fragmented. They're kind of paired off in duos. Some guy warming up. Some guys just taking their counterpart on the court and having the chat. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. What about this adjustment? And getting that kind of one-on-one feedback. These players at this level with these teams, they've got so much rapport built up with each other that they know that the input they're getting from their guys on their bench is valuable and a great way for them to continue leveling up what's going on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, communication's a huge factor in volleyball. Anyone that's played volleyball knows how important it is to talk to one another.
Yeah.
And in this environment, you have to have a collaboration, amongst your teammates, with whether your coach, your assistant coach, the players that are starting, the players that what they're seeing from the bench, right? And how they can add some value to what the players need to see or hear in order to play better.
Yeah, and it was one of those interesting things that I kind of heard as a take, just watching, listening to a sports podcast. And it was talking about one of the weird oddities in the NFL, for example, and it's that when you get to that level, there are guys that might have been in the league for as long as some of the coaches are coaching. And sometimes you get to a level where the coach doesn't always know better, and so it creates more of a conversation sometimes that, hey, we need to solve this problem, but how do we do it?
Yeah.
And it creates a dialogue, much less of a top-down,
right,
do what I say. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting that changes significantly from when you're a 16, 17-year-old playing the game.
Right, absolutely. It's good. It's much more effective in the team dynamic, depending on the level of action, whether it's a head coach passing down information to all the younger kids that are playing t-ball or even volleyball or whatever, compared to a dynamic like this where we've got a lot of experienced players on the team at the same time on the court that they can rely on each other for that information.
Yeah, and we always talk about dynamic problem solving, right? So you see, number 7, Sanchez out here, he's previously on the Puerto Rican national team. So he's played at levels and under different coaches and systems, and he might have kind of a solution that the pieces that he's got around him right now can solve doing, a different way. And so when you've got a lot of different ideas, that's one of the big strengths of some of these rosters, having guys that have played all over the country, all over the world, and under different college systems. Just there's so many ways to approach the game.
Uh-huh.
We're doing a lot of talking on our end, but let's lighten the mood. Victoria, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Nick. Blaze, that last set, their pin hitters were all hitting over 600. They're really doing well spreading their offense. Let's talk a little bit about how stats work here with the FIVB rules. Stats for the hitters are kills divided by attempts, whereas in college with the NCAA, it's kills minus errors divided by attempts. So it's a little bit better as an attacker, personally myself as an outside, that my errors are not calculated into my overall hitting percentage, which is what we can see here. Nick?
Thanks so much. And explaining that kind of insight helps change up some of the conversation with many of our USA fans that are thinking about it maybe in a traditional sense that they're used to. But it's a little bit different when you get to the international stage. So really appreciate that kind of clarification. Brings a ton of value to the numbers that you've been giving us throughout the day. Thanks so much for that. O'Gorman now coming into the fourth set. We're hopeful that we might see a small adjustment on his service mentality. And there it is, finds a great contact over the top. And once again, earlier, I want to throw the nod back. We were talking about the importance of a front row, as your front row outside, helping out block the middle. And Wally is not only there to block Mosicki, but throw that ball down with authority.
Yeah, it was a nice heads-up play by Wally to be aware of the situation. He was there to block, and he just took care of it.
Nice adjustments by O'Gorman. Mosicki goes once again. Massanette's going to lay this up. Belvin's tight, covered up, and now Nieves goes back to Wally. Wally finds the chisel, and that is what he's here for. We see a lot of great out-of-system sets there from Massanet. Good defense from Bugs. And Nieves letting everyone know that he's more than happy to be the starting setter right now.
Like any middle blocker, always has to make sure everyone knows that I set that ball, I should get the assist.
O'Gorman with two great serves to start this run. See if he can extend it one more. Indeed he can, with a nice pass there by Sanchez, but a little mismanagement. Sanchez on the ground. Rochette steps in, gets a dig. Hernandez with a big attack, dug overhand by Massanet. Wally battling into the corner, nice dig by Skulthies. And that one goes long. Everybody determined to get their licks in there and get a ball touch.
Yeah, nice long rally there. Good extended rally back and forth, couple of contacts on each side, good high swings. That one just couldn't find the court.
Schulteis with a nice dig in the corner there. Massanet, both liberos really having a solid rally. O'Gorman with the fourth serve in this run. And that one goes long, not quite the connection they're looking for with Mosicki. They're really trying to force him and getting him involved, but limping around a little bit, looks like might be a strained quad. He nods off Coach Quinones and lets him know that he's still good to go. They do have Chike Opurum still on the bench ready to go in case they need him. O'Gorman just insisting on putting on the pressure right now. Overpass, and we see the disciplined hands of Nieves there ensuring that that ball is not coming over the net. Blaze really returning to form. It's crazy what happens when you make these serves but put pressure on him like O'Gorman does. He's still hitting these with a lot of pace.
Yeah, he is, you're right. And he's going on a nice service run here.
Another one, in Schulteis with a nice pass. And there's a big block just going low and tight, doing it right on the side of the LA Blaze. Unable for Roshitz to come up with that one.
Well-formed block. Again, we're seeing the same error over and over again from Steve there on that back row attack, just going way out of bounds long every time. I don't know if he's trying to go OT and just not snapping it, or he's missing the fingertips of the block, but that's about his 4th hitting error on the right back position.
O'Gorman once again, that's a great pass by Hernandez. Sanchez nets on the swing, and that's going to be a point for the Blaze. So we've got a huge run opening up here. 8-1. LA Blaze says that they're done with this match continuing back and forth in its current status. So they're ready to end this one pretty quick, it looks like.
Really nice start to game 4 for LA Blaze, an 8-1 lead. But really what'll be more important is to see how they finish.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't just put it in cruise control and think the game's over and then the match. Actually put your foot on the gas a little bit more and take care of business.
And you know, we do our best to break down how serving is such an important part of the men's game. And the reason being is passing in general is quite good. So if you're not crushing a serve, teams are going to be siding out at around a 70 to 75% rate if they're doing well. So that really puts the onus on the server to hit a good serve. So when you've got someone as physical and as powerful as Travis O'Gorman, it's incredible to see the impact that he can have when he's not serving into the net. They've talked about it in the timeouts now. They've dialed it back.
Yep.
He's on a huge serving run, and even by just quote-unquote placing it in the court, he's completely derailing the serve receive right now from the Dallas Tornadoes.
Yeah, you know, a point from a serve, no matter how you get that point, is just as good as an ace.
Yeah.
Okay? So it doesn't have to be a hard, clean ace every single time that results in a lot of service errors. But right now, Blaze are actually manufacturing these points from the beginning with the serve.
And now it's time to see if O'Gorman can weather the timeout. And he cannot, but, you know, hard to have any complaints about that service run. That was by far the longest one of the match.
It was. One of the longest ones we've seen, I feel like, all weekend so far.
Yeah, it was really a well put together run. 5, 6, 7 serves, something like that. Now we get Wally with a good pass, a total gimme set. Make sure that Bug sees that he's there and he is ready to swing. Another guy that's seen some international experience. He spent some time playing overseas after going to Lincoln Memorial. He played at Northumbria and played a little bit on Team Durham over in the English Pro League. Overpass force now. Nieves happy for a chance to get another set. And once again, he's going to make an argument that he's got the best hands on the team. Watch out, Bugs. Charles Belvin stoked on that set. Happy for an opportunity to just tee off there. Both of these Puerto Rican middles, both Rodriguez and Nieves, are just a riot to watch with their on-court demeanor. Great high reach there from Roshitz, and that's kind of what we want to see, right? Even though that wasn't the approach that he likes, he still had to manage that a little bit more, and he knows how to find open court.
He made a good adjustment in the air to turn it down a little bit and just kind of cuff that ball as a little bit of a beat shot, you know, and roll it almost just to the inline to make sure he placed it in the court.
Sanchez now seeing if he can answer back in the same manner that O'Gorman did, and instead he just replicates O'Gorman's final serve with his first. It's a miss in the net. Belvin goes off speed, tight pass, and Sanchez tries to go for a Bic attack there, but looked like it was way behind him and outside of his body, so a little difference there in expectations between Andujar and Sanchez.
Set the front row. Set your front row hitters. A little chaotic play. That means that Andujar had predetermined he was going to set the Bic, you know, before that first serve. So, you know,
And don't let Charles Belvin get a second serve, because that was a very confident, explosive serve.
Yes, it was.
And a little uncharacteristic there to see Schulteis, struggle with that one. He's had a great match so far. So
yeah, first clean ace. He didn't get his arms away from his body enough to absorb the heat from Belvin's jump serve, but for him to make that adjustment now.
And there the adjustment is. Now a tight pass, dug by Belvin perfectly. And O'Gorman ready to swing, gets a touch off the block, ball's in, all around, great look. And that's a 14-3 lead. And if you don't look at the score right now, obviously Dallas is in a tough spot, but they're still battling back. I would not guess this is an 11-point lead.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. Their attitude on the court, they're a little bit deflated as they walk off, but it's just more about communication right now for them. If they can start communicating and make sure they don't fracture off into different places like we said in that last game, stay together, come together after every point, celebrate their success, talk about what they need, if they don't get the point, and see if they can kind of create some sort of momentum, go on their own little run, and pull within a few points here.
I'm curious, what's it like? I've always been a guy that the teams I've been a part of, I've never had the guys going and warming up on the end line. Like if guys start kind of getting a nod from a coach like, hey, go get ready, they kind of go do it, and if they need someone to warm them up, they will. But I've always had timeouts where everyone's kind of in there together, and just so that we're all on the same page, so if someone gets subbed in. What's your take playing at Long Beach? I played college club. I haven't seen that high of level with the structure. What's your take on that?
I agree with what you're talking about, Nick. And if there is a timeout, then the entire team comes together, and everyone understands what's going on and what the coach is talking about, so they all are on the same page. Those guys that are just kind of messing around back there playing pepper, it's better to know what's happening in the game to have bumped the ball back and forth 10 to 12 times. Right. So I'm a fan of bringing everybody in, making sure everyone knows what's going on. You're supporting one another. It's a team game, right? And everyone should be on the same page.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Great input. It's something I had very little experience with, and you see at all levels of the game, people handle it differently. So thanks for that insight.
Well, you're welcome.
Ooh, tough pass. Massanet able to get there with a little encouragement from Belvin, and Belvin falling backward puts that one into the corner. Earlier, Victoria was letting us know how effective he was being, and in case you didn't believe the numbers, take a quick look at something like that. He is dialed in and ready to make an impact. Now Nicholas Dennis coming in. You love to see the confidence on the side of LA Blaze to make this work, and there it is. Tip over the top, Massanet gets the pancake. Yeah. Well, you never have to worry about Massanet letting you know what was correct or not.
Yeah.
If you ever watch him, he never wants his teammates to have a discussion about what was correct. He wants to move on.
Yeah.
So he lets them know, hey, it was down. Great serve from Liz Dennis there, though. A little bit of monkey see, monkey do. The rest of his team's finally hitting their serves, and he just follows suit.
Yeah.
Roschitz gets a friendly bounce off the tape. And O'Gorman swings just wide. But he's more than happy to take that rip. Good pass there by middle blocker Rodriguez off the tape there. That's a very common conversation you'll hear as well when everyone's setting up who has what seams and serve receive. Middles will tell you, I got the tape. And many passers hope that never comes to that, but in case it does, great pass like Rodriguez gets there. Belvin on a big route.
Wow.
A little changeup. They recognize that Liz Dennis is not going to be the offensive threat, so instead you see Belvin run the big. Love to see that adaptation. Heads up play of what you got on the court.
Heard a couple people in the gym just stop mid-sentence when they saw Belvin jump, and it's just like, wow, there he goes. That kid can fly.
Yep, and that's going to bring a technical timeout here. So once again, everyone's just kind of chatting about it and having a conversation to see what's next. But this really, I love to be the optimist. I love to talk about what teams do to get back in this. I don't know what that answer is right now. And it's not because the Tornadoes, I think, are doing anything wrong. I think we're seeing Blaze return to form. They've reduced and minimized missed serves. They're stringing together runs.
Yeah.
Charles Belvin swinging at full power right now,
Yeah.
and we're seeing great adjustments across the board.
Well, when you start this fourth game with an 8-1 scoreboard, right, based off of that O'Gorman service run that he went on, now that frees the guys up to play with some confidence, have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, Belvin's doing some crazy athletic jumping, hitting the ball, and getting kills, and so you know it's contagious. The momentum is clearly on Blaze's side. Tornadoes are kind of swirling a little bit, spinning, trying to figure out what they can do to sort of counteract this onslaught that they're getting from the LA Blaze.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's, you know, we're very clearly a fan of him, but Ricky Massanet is just a constant. He really just doesn't let the slop ever fall down, and when that's the case, it really minimizes the impact that annoying plays that affect mentality occur. So that's a huge plus there. And that's the second Liz Dennis read we've seen. While it didn't matter with the net, Liz Dennis making a great shading move into the corner there. There's someone to look for to make that run happen, though. It's the same man that did it yesterday. Rely on Hernandez. Ricky Massanet with that great pass and a pulled block there. Huge swing, but a huge block. O'Gorman is dialed in. We're seeing a great job there by Nieves to pull the middle, give O'Gorman the one-on-one. Good defense on the side of Tornadoes, but once that one's coming back around, that's going to be a huge block. And now we're going to see Joe Cuevas coming in for Charles Belvin, getting Joe some court time. Once again, talking about Joe has played in every match so far this weekend, starting day one, and got a nod during game two, but just not quite finding his stride.
Yeah, he's not quite as terminal as Belvin has been either. Unfortunately, coach just sort of iced Bugs as well. So
yeah. But I think this is still that continued effort to get Joe just part of the system, get him as many sets as you can. And so when you're up, 9 points, I think it's smart. Utilize what you can. Aaron King now chips one wide. And we're going to see another substitution. That's going to bring Francisco Guzman in for Travis O'Gorman. O'Gorman taking the first break all weekend long. And frankly, it's a well-deserved one.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot of time, a lot of minutes for Blaze. Has number 13 in white over there. So it's a well-deserved rest for a few moments.
Guzman brings the cannon off the bench. And now that swing goes goes wide, sorry, and that's just the D-ball not quite connecting for Roshitz.
Yeah, just having a hard time finding the court today. His velocity's there, he's jumping well, his shoulder clearly feels better than it did yesterday, but unfortunately he just can't keep the ball inside the white lines.
Guzman cranking another one. Nice pass by Hernandez, but they're going to try it again to Roshitz. That one is in fact in. Gets the corner he's been aiming for, and that one's got to feel good. A little bit of redemption. Nicholas Dennis takes that pass, and there's a huge swing. We talked about that connection being established on the side of LA Blaze. Pedro Nieves gets that one involved. And now we're going to see the setter substitution occurring, and that's going to be Dale Irvin coming in now, number 22, a recently acquired setter for the LA Blaze from Fullerton College, also played at Westcliff University. Nicholas Dennis also rotates into the front row. So no Wally unsubstitution there.
Yep.
They keep him. And with the third middle that has traveled to this event for the LA Blaze not being here today, I believe Marcus Molina, means that the only players remaining in this lineup will be their middle blockers, Rodriguez and Nieves. We see that serving sub for number 1 here, Alexis Reyes, once again. Good deep swing. And Liz Dennis going to battle, and that's going to be a net on the side of the Tornadoes. The boys on the bench making sure to pick their guy up. (21 to 10). That 11-point lead has been maintained through the majority of the match here. Joe Cuevas hits a float serve, gets a tight pass as a result, and that's a great swing out of the middle. Mosicki right there on the side of the Tornadoes. Serving substitution coming in for Mosicki with number 5 from the Dallas Tornadoes. That's going to be Russell Fulbray. We've seen him on the court just briefly, but not too much before. Little tip over the top. That one hits the floor. That's going to be a kill there for Rodriguez. Liz Dennis this time when he actually gets a chance to have cycled through the front row. He's hit a couple swings, so shoulders warm. We'll see if that's able to positively impact his ability to hit this serve here. Dennis cranks that one, certainly gets that reward. Reset for the Tornadoes, backside to Roshitz. Blocked once again. Massanet to Guzman, and Dale not quite able to come up with that cover ball. Nicely done on the side of the Tornadoes, getting blocked twice, still able to reset and find a block of their own.
Yeah, nice little ping pong player, bang bang again, bounce ball off of a head covering each other, and able to score the point for the Tornadoes.
Big swing, but Francisco Guzman in system, and Joe Cuevas swings that D-ball. And there's going to be Roshitz, you know, at one point he realized his platform wasn't going to get there, and he knew how to use his chest, tries to get a nice high ball out of it. Not quite able to be tracked down, but there was a net called on the play as well. Rodriguez hits that float, nice pass, but it's going to be just tight, potentially overcalled here, and they're saying that one is on the net. I saw that as over myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. There's no reason to argue it. You guys have a 12-point lead at match point. It's fine.
Yeah. Hernandez hits that one into the tape. And that's going to bring us to 23-12 from the LA Blaze. Sorry, we're readjusting some score. That's 24-13. So that's going to be set point. Big swing, and Joe Cuevas gets the point he's looking for off the bench. Ends that one with authority. And that's going to be a huge win for the LA Blaze there. Finishing this one off in 4. Finishing their weekend 2-1 with a tough loss to the Matadors last night, but certainly no performance to be ashamed of. And with that, we say also goodbye to the Dallas Tornadoes after a tough weekend, but definitely a great way to end that as they went, you know, that was, I would say, an overall good ending. We saw a lot of good pieces and something that they can work on over the next 5 weeks before we see them back for event number 2.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Nick. After seeing them yesterday, they did a little lineup change, got their guys back in today. They played well, they played hard, but they just couldn't overcome the momentum swings that the Blaze developed throughout that match right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of natural explosiveness. When you've got O'Gorman and Belvin swinging, it's so excited to get excited. It's so easy to get excited about any one of their swings. And so that's just a quick restart. Anytime the energy gets low, those guys are one swing away from getting everyone reignited real quick.
Yeah,
so
yeah, absolutely.
that's hard to compete against.
It is. It's tricky for sure. And but they're familiar again with playing with one another. And they know how to push each other's buttons, probably in positive and negative ways. But in this instance, we saw it as a positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we've got the next match queued up here at 4:30. That's going to be the Las Vegas Ramblers taking on the Chicago Untouchables. So definitely going to be a great time to see that Chicago team one more time as they're in their opening weekend. We've seen a lot of promise there.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to see what they have today. Left over after watching them yesterday. So,
well, before we get there, we've got one more sideline takeaway with outside hitter Travis O'Gorman. Victoria, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. Travis, 4 blocks, 11 kills. You are killing it this weekend. What's your mental game like going into every match here?
We really focus on a team effort. Really just passing first, spreading the court, establishing the BIC in the middles mostly. As soon as we can get those started, we just start executing very well. So my mental state is just feed the players that are hot.
Absolutely. Your setter does a great job at spreading the offense. Do you think that helps you as well?
Absolutely, especially establishing the BIC. I know we were a little off at the beginning, but as soon as we established the BIC, we just were taking over. It gave our middles a chance to just go and swing at it, as well as our pins to just be open one-on-one.
What does playing and representing LA Blaze in the NVA mean to you?
Oh man, I'm just humble about it. I didn't even expect to make any teams or anything, and showing up to tryouts, it was just a blessing at the time.
Well, you absolutely made this team, and if not an all-star in this league, congrats on this win. Nick?
Yeah, that's it's funny to hear, so many of these guys just happy for the opportunity, but to hear that O'Gorman wasn't sure he would be here at all is mind-blowing, because he is certainly a high caliber player in this league.
It speaks to the talent, right, that's in this league, and the humility that he has as well to be so appreciative of being involved in a professional men's league here in the United States.
Well, the NVA is doing big things, but we are not done just yet. We got 2 more matches today. The Las Vegas Ramblers and the Chicago Untouchables match off right now, or in about 30 minutes. So tune back in. You're going to see Matt taking that one on a solo broadcast as I support my boys in black and gold. We'll see you right back here. Don't miss out.